Good morning. Hello.
Hi. All right, we're going to try it without a headset. Mine is broken. Hi, Kim. Hi, Erik.
Hello, hello. Hi, Mom, he says.
What's you doing, Erik?
He's laughing at me. He's looking at me going, why are you acting weird? I don't know. Am I acting weird?
God, Erik. I swear. I heard you crashed Jamie's trans-channeling the other day.
He says, he's shaking his head yes. He says, well, sometimes if there's messages that need to get through, I'll take that opportunity to help somebody.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to do something kind of weird. As if it's not all a little weird anyway. But there's this
he's like, good, I like weird.
Yeah, I know, you always have. There's this alien, Erik, who calls himself Mogay, who claims that I don't know if it's a he or she, has been adopted by humankind. It was in some big magazine or newspaper or something. He said he and those who came with him arrived last September, but are not like the aliens most humans imagine. Something happened to his home planet. It was a real big deal. So anyway, he's been pleading with UFO investigators with the Mutual UFO Network for help. First of all, is it true? And if it is, can we bring him in? Mogay. Or Mojay. Okay.
He's, yes, this being exists. As far as the story, he's making me feel like things have been changed or altered a little bit. But the first time you said his name, when you were reading that, Erik gave me a sense of huge, big energy.
Well, they say
big deal.
They exist in electromagnetic waves. Apparently, that's where they hang, in electromagnetic waves, and they kind of hijack physical bodies in order to communicate, even humans.
Erik's being such a turd. He goes, well, don't we all? When you said that he hangs in electromagnetic waves, he goes, don't we all? I'm like, no, explain that to me. Hold on.
Yeah, that's right. We all hijack physical bodies too, even humans. So can you bring him in, Erik?
He says, yes. He says, absolutely. He says, there is substance to this whole story. He doesn't really even like to call it a story because story might make it seem like it's not real. But he goes, why not? Let's get the party started.
Okay, let's do it.
So as he basically brings forth this being, it's this sense of just bigness, this huge, and not necessarily in size, but in depth, or it kind of feels like, one time I channeled Abraham Hicks, and just the amount of information was so overwhelming. That's kind of how this feels. Kind of making me a little, getting my energy really, really jacked up.
Well,
so
good.
I can, there's just, but it's a good jacked up. It's extremely intelligent is what I feel. He's greeting you. I'm going to say he, very proper sounding. Just hello, Mrs. Medhouse. Just very slow, very low toned when he speaks.
So your name is Mogay.
He says yes. Doesn't change. Doesn't say anything different.
Does that mean there's Mogay people where you are? Just kidding. I'm checking to see if he has a sense of humor.
He does. It was delayed.
Okay, it probably took him a while. I don't need the answer to that. But anyway, all right, so you say that you usually exist as an electromagnetic wave or in an electromagnetic wave, and you hijack physical bodies, even humans. And you say you use replaceable bodies to work. Can you talk about that a little bit, very briefly?
Okay. Can you hear the echo, Elisa, or is that just on my end?
Just on your end.
Okay. Real quick, before he answers your question, he started talking to you as you were talking and saying that he just said he wants you to know he appreciates where you come from in this whole big picture of things, because you never get, he says, you never get worn out. You never get bored with exploring new ideas, new concepts when it comes to spirituality. So he's just thanking you for your continued efforts to shed light on things that aren't so common, he says. You never wear down, you never tire in your need for understanding and bringing that to a big audience, he says. So he's just thanking you. Okay, so anyway, you're asking him about
how he
coming
lives.
into bodies.
Yeah, and living in an electromagnetic wave or as an electromagnetic wave.
He's showing me, he's talking with image, so he says, there are many different electromagnetic waves that I can exist within, and then he said upon. And then he's showing me this image of bouncing from one body to the next, so to speak. It's almost like coexisting with bodies that are, he says, already being driven, like automobiles that already have a driver.
Okay.
But and coexist in that electromagnetic field. He says it's based on the frequencies that others put off that I can coexist within. And he's going like this. Do not misunderstand. This is not an attachment. Like I don't attach to people and suck their energy, so to speak. I don't take their energy. It's more of coexisting with frequencies, electromagnetic waves.
Well, how does it change for that person? Anything change for that person? Like, of course, you need the body for communicating and stuff like that. Do you all of a sudden sort of take over the communication when you want to and things like that?
At times we can, but it can't be too drastic because of, he says, the nature of it. So he says if and when we take over to express ourselves or to communicate, he's giving me this sense of it's more of like coming in as a guide. So he's giving me this example, like let's say there's two people talking and let's say it's escalating, almost coming into an argument. Then they would kind of come in as a guide and take over the communication process to sort of help guide along that situation. So that's what he's showing me. Like sometimes when he says, oftentimes humans don't realize they can check out, and whether it's in a conversation. Listen, I check out too much these days. But he says, in order for, and he's talking about the big scale, for communication to continue to be effective for humans, it has to be guided a lot of times. So when we see the energy fading or kind of dropping into a depressed state, that's when we can come in and take over the communication process, moving the body, whatever, to continue that conversation, that course of events.
Are you in a body? So, are you in a body now so that you can communicate with these UFO researchers?
Oh my gosh, he answered before you finished.
Wow.
He said, oh yeah, in and out a lot.
Okay.
Because we want to bring light and understanding to my type, he says, to not just my type, but what's going on. There's so much, he's kind of laughing. He says, there's so much more going on than what meets the eye. And if we can come to that understanding and acceptance, obviously, he's talking so fast. He says, obviously, we can
turn into
create...
Moge. Go slow.
I love it. He says, if we can get more eyes on, more hearts open to, more ears open to, realizing that there's way, way more happening than what you can see, what you can pick up on, then we can create the changes needed to basically like exist as one, to realize everything is one. So that's why they kind of jump in and out, even through research, to guide the research, in certain directions to, he's like, again, showing me like, okay, this is going to be revealed. And then, so they're kind of guiding, he says they're guiding research to continue, walk them through the steps to reveal the next layer, to reveal, and he keeps calling himself, you can call us the movers and the shakers. He says we're trying to move people and shake them up a little bit to trigger their thoughts along certain lines to be able to, again, reveal, well, he says reveal truth, but reveal understanding, guiding research.
Well, now, what happened? You say there was a disaster on a celestial body that caused you and others to seek refuge on Earth, you know? I mean, what happened? Where was your home planet? How did you get here? And you also said a celestial body made most of our equipment not work. You said we tried to make it get away from Matif, but we failed, and that celestial body hit Matif. I guess is Matif your home planet? And what is this celestial body? What happened?
This is where he makes me feel like he says there are truths to what you just said, and there are exaggerations. He says, Matif, if I'm saying that right, he makes me feel a sense of home when you say that word, so that connecting to that as home. So I asked him, I just said, what happened? When it comes to, he's showing me these images of higher self. You know, when we talk about and think about our higher self, that's kind of the concept he's giving me. He says, when talking about the celestial body and this disaster, he keeps showing me conflict, complete conflict. Okay, I'm going to try my best to put this into words because he's using image. So basically what I see is, for example, let's say we have a human and then the higher self. What the human is doing is continually feeding back to the higher self. You know, the information is continually flowing back. Higher self accepts, learns, or vice versa. When he's talking about, when I said what happened, what was this disaster, this was cut off. It's like being cut off from higher self. Like this was the disaster that you refer to. He says, like, that communication process stopped when you, and then he does have a sense of humor because he's laughing. He says, can you imagine?
Yeah, that sounds a little funny.
When you don't have connection or communication to your higher self, can you imagine what happens? And then he gives me the word and showing me explosion, catastrophic. So not just, okay, but it's not like physical catastrophe, it's emotional. But what that does vibrationally to you, in my type, he says, is it's just like, it's like it sent these sound waves like that. I don't know how to, it's like a war zone is what it looks like. I see these, you know, this catastrophe happening, and then it sends these shock waves kind of wiping out or giving the same experience to everything in its path.
Was it a meteor or what was it? Another planet or asteroid rather?
Another planet, he says.
He said one time, although the adverse effect of the celestial body had gone when it knocked out of its orbit, in kind of broken English, but it's no more time for us to took refuge with transfer system. The disaster on Matif made us arrive on Earth. What does that mean? You didn't have time to take refuge with transfer system.
That's interesting. First of all, he definitely has broken English, so it's hard to translate. But when you say the broken, that transfer that he's talking about, like with higher self, and not having time to take refuge, not having time to understand or make changes, So how did that affect
system is a transfer system, the information transfer between higher self and your body?
Oh. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Okay. I thought it was like escape pods or some special thing. Okay. Transfer, so you can transfer to another viable planet. But that's interesting. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to ask, how did that affect you coming here? Why did that make you seek refuge here or come here?
Yeah.
He says it's the, oh man, this is, I love what I do and I love everything, right? I try to exist and love as much as I can, but this is a little creepy.
Uh-oh.
He says, well, and thank goodness he's not offended by me saying that, but he says, I said, why did you seek refuge here? Humans put off like a sense of constant vibration at certain frequencies that they can understand, because oftentimes we operate on, he calls it autopilot. Like your mind is not, a lot of people.
We do? Humans do?
A lot of people.
Humans? Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's true.
And he says, so that vibration, when people are in a numb state of mind, and when they walk around on autopilot, it puts off like this collective vibration. It's almost like a safety net is what he's making me feel like. That's why, like, you can seek refuge within those waves, like within those frequencies.
Okay. Well, was your physical body? Were your physical bodies destroyed during the disaster, and then your higher selves or your spirits came here?
I believe so, because he's all about talking with image.
Try to use words. Try to use words, Moge.
What he showed me when you asked that was, I'm sure at one point or another we've all looked up pictures of a human that has like spontaneous combustion. That's what he's showing, like with their bodies. Spontaneous, like a combustion. Yeah. And then he's just talking about the violence of that. How
was it painful? I hope it wasn't. It's probably too instantaneous to be painful.
Yeah, he says no pain, but very disorienting. It's in a body 1 minute and not in the next moment, and then adapting and understanding. So, but the amount of emotion that goes behind it too, he says that's where we seek refuge in that
safety net.
Safety net, yeah.
Well, what did your physical bodies look like?
He's showing me image again. So, smaller than your average human, but still human type features and shapes, but everything is on a smaller scale. It seems like everything is, what is average to us is large to them. Okay. So everything's on a smaller scale, he says. You don't see, he's actually saying with words now, you don't see, he's going like this, like you don't see musculature, like here as humans, we can get ripped in certain ways, abs, biceps, whatever, but you don't see that. They're just very frail.
Well, you do have 24-hour fitness. They probably have a special going on after Christmas. You might look into that.
He's just smiling.
I'm teasing. But how many are you over here?
How many?
Yeah. And also, how did you get here?
Okay, he's answering the second question first. Mm-hmm. Attraction to vibration. Oh man, now he's showing a sense of humor. He's joking. When you said how did you get here, he's making a reference to we didn't take automobiles from the Jetsons.
Oh my God! I just thought about the Jetsons when you said it was getting funny. Oh my gosh! Wow, I channeled Moge.
But there's no need to travel. It's just attraction to a vibration that helps you exist. But he makes me feel like there are concentrated groups of them, but when I ask if he can give me a number, there's no limit. So it's infinite,
Okay.
he says.
Wow. So how long did it take you to get over here? And how far away was Matif?
He says Matif is it's like it's hidden. He keeps giving me the symbol for hidden or like undiscovered. It's in a whole separate universe is what he makes me feel like.
Wow. So you're from a different universe?
He keeps like completely separate world.
Okay.
And he keeps giving me my symbol for it's not seen, it's hidden. And then again, when I said, how long did it take you to get here? Well, okay, he's trying to explain. He says, for us, it was instant, but in your concept of time, it would be translated into light years.
Light years, that's like, a distance. So that's how long it takes light to travel, how long light travels if it goes on for a year.
He keeps repeating. So is there a distance measurement with light years? Because he keeps giving me that word. Light years.
Yeah, that's a distance. It's not really a time. So did it take you decades to get here?
Oh, okay. I see. Because I said, well, I don't understand because he keeps repeating light years. And I'm like, well, how long did it take you to get here? He keeps repeating light years. So he's stacking them. What he's doing is taking the word light years and giving me like light years, comma, light years, comma. So
many
the communication is so bizarre. It's so strange. So I asked him, okay, well, how many light years if we're going to go that route? And he stops at 4.
So you're 4 light years away. Okay.
His energy aligned when you said that.
Oh, okay. How did you learn how to speak English?
Interesting. He says it's not that we learn how to speak English or, well, partially mocking. It's all about the energy behind the word as to how we understand it, what it means. So they understand it based on the energy behind it. But he's also saying, because you perceive it as English doesn't mean that's our main language.
Oh, sure.
It's the information you're going to receive. He says you're going to receive the information in a way that you can understand. Because he's actually saying we don't really use language most of the time. It's vibration, he says, to communicate.
Okay.
Waves, frequencies.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm probably going to have a part 2 and just learn more not about your situation, like we're talking about now, your current situation, but your whole, what kind of beings you are and what your life on Matif was like and how you communicate and all that. That'd be fun. All right, so I'm almost finished, and thank you for bearing with me. Are you so you're in a human now. What's that human's name? Is it a
He
child,
said in and out.
You're in and out of the same human or different humans?
Different.
Okay.
He says that he's working with Scott.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the last name. It sounds like Hampson or Hampshire. H-A-M-P. I think it's like Hampshire.
Okay.
Hampshire.
Okay. Does he know you're working with him?
I don't believe so.
So you're just using him as a vessel?
Absolutely, he says.
Okay.
And multiple. He gave the word multiple. So again, working with more than one. And it's to direct research, he says.
Okay.
To guide research.
So he's probably some sort of researcher, I guess, huh? Scott?
He says, upon many. Now he's giving me work.
Do you miss home? I mean, is there anything that we can do for you? Do you want to... Well, I guess there's no more Matif, but it seemed like you were pleading for help. What can we do? What do you need?
He says, I don't miss home necessarily in the sense that you miss things when you long for things. Rather, it's an understanding of the process. But, oh man, he's like talking a whole lot about, when you said, what can we do to help? How can we help? He's talking about, he actually went to, oh man, I wish we had more time. He's talking about, first of all, the biggest thing, how can we help? People that, this is, he says people that exhibit mental illness, he's asking, like, don't judge them, because sometimes those are the people that we're working with. So whether, he says, somebody looks like bipolar or schizophrenic, don't judge them for acting out of character. Sometimes that's when guides are taking over, he says, and he's very stern about that. So what can you do to help us? Don't judge your own kind. He says, be more compassionate to your own kind, because, again, he's talking about how that affects the collective energy of mankind. And again, when that collective energy is healthy, that like helps them to exist, so to speak, he says. So the best thing you can do for us is to work on and help each other.
Okay.
And then I said, is there anything else? He said, I don't know what else you could possibly do. There's nothing else.
Trying to find a way to another home. You're not trying to get away from Earth, anything like that.
He says, no, this is a part of the process.
All right. Well, we'll have you back. This was awesome. Go ahead, Kim. Sorry.
It feels like such a mystery when he's like, this is a part of the process. I'm like, what? Tell me more, you know? He says, this is a part of the process. So I'm just like, oh, this big question mark in my head. What process? Tell me more.
Well, you guys, if you have any questions that you want me to ask on our second interview, just let me know. So that's cool. Thank you, Erik, for bringing them in. Thank you, Moge, and thank you for being here and helping us. I'll see if this can get into the right hands, because I think maybe if I send it to this mutual UFO network, maybe they'd be interested. Or maybe they'll just laugh at me. I don't know.
Erik says, thank you for having an open mind.
Oh, sure.
So,
it's been cracking.
Erik's blowing you kisses.
Okay, love you, Erik. Talk to you in a little bit.
I love you too, Mom, he says.
Bye. Stay tuned for the messages again, people. Thanks, Kim.
And